Hey Maniacs, welcome back to the channel. Your local bedhead here. We are going to be diving into a CelinaSpookyBoo video. I haven't watched her in a little while. This one has been actually sent to me a couple times in the past day now, and that is the truth about Ed and Lorraine Warren. Now, before we dive into CelinaSpookyBoo's video, I do want to say that I myself have had, and I'm not sure if this is where she's going to lean into. It would be very interesting if she did. I have had my suspicions about the paranormal couple, like the original OG paranormal couple, and Ed and Lorraine Warren they've had moments of just what the hell was that? Even speculations and even rumors of, authors of certain popular books saying that Ed had made comments saying, make it more scary. He asked if they can make it more intense, more scary than the real story. And that does not look good on any paranormal investigator. There is a part of me that has a lot of respect for them, but at the same time, some things are just questionable. And certain things you wish they were still around so you could ask them, hey, what is this about? Why'd you guys do this? And even, my friend telling me that there was a possibility Ed was actually seeing another woman. Yeah, so the movies did not do a really good job at portraying the real Ed and Lorraine Warren, in a sense. They portrayed a very nice fantasy-esque couple relationship, married couple, but they didn't really get the real Ed and Lorraine Warren. Yeah, there was a lot of speculation that Ed was actually seeing another woman behind Lorraine's back. And I'm not sure how much of this is true, but my friend did tell me about this, and I was kind of shocked to hear it, honestly. So maybe that's because the movies kind of built them up to be this perfect couple. So anyways, we're going to go ahead and dive into the video, guys. I'll give you guys my thoughts, of course, during and after the video. If I want to talk, I'll pause the video to let you guys know what I want to say. It's better that than try to talk over Celina. So I'm excited to watch it and see what she has to say. So here we go, guys. If you like this type of content, hit the like button, subscribe to the channel. It helps out a lot. Get this video over 100 likes, and I will continue to react to CelinaSpookyBoo. Here we go.
The fame of Ed and Lorraine Warren, known as the adorable Ghostbusters, has soared in 21st century pop culture. This rise is mainly due to the hugely popular Conjuring movie series, loosely inspired by their lives. Vera Farmiga portrays Lorraine and Patrick Wilson plays Ed. The franchise has also spawned successful spin-offs like Annabelle, centered around the Warrens' eerie doll, and The Nun, featuring a demonic entity from the previous films. Additionally, in 2009, the horror hit A Haunting in Connecticut and various best-selling books depict the Warrens as fearless defenders against the supernatural. However, not all of this is based on reality. Some might protest, not Ed and Lorraine. They were a pure-hearted couple who battled evil across America in the 70s and 80s. But the truth is actually much less fantastical. Reports of their involvement in famous cases like the Amityville haunting were exaggerated. While their ability to exorcise spirits is doubtful, their talent for self-promotion was certainly undisputed. Now, don't get me wrong, I really did want to believe that the hauntings they worked on were all real, but the more I researched their life and work, the less convinced I really have become. Hello and welcome.
Now, I'm going to go ahead and say something really quick, Celina, and I'm excited to see what you have to say, because here's the thing, and I want to know what a lot of people who claim that debunkers are ruining their fun are gonna want to say about this. Oh, you're ruining our fun. Stop diving into it. Stop trying to ruin something that was so good with paranormal channels. There is no difference between CelinaSpookyBoo saying the things that she's probably about to say about Ed and Lorraine Warren compared to other debunkers on YouTube saying things about paranormal channels. There is literally no difference. So if you're getting pissed off at people for saying things about the paranormal couple of recently, well, you probably should be given that same treatment to CelinaSpookyBoo. I haven't even delved into the video yet, and I'm already wanting to say that. Because the amount of hate people have gotten for speaking up about certain things that just don't add up is unbelievable. Unbelievable. I was never expecting this side of Celina to come out. And I'm not sure how long she's been doing this, talking about like other paranormal enthusiasts or paranormal researchers or investigators. It's pretty shocking to see that she's going through with this and that she's going to say the things about Ed and Lorraine Warren that she's going to be saying. I was aware of it. Of course, I haven't made a solo video talking about Ed and Lorraine Warren, but I really don't need to. I don't need to, but I'm curious to hear what she has to say.
To the Haunted Estate, here with your host, me, Selena Myers. Before I spill the tea on Ed and Lorraine Warren, we have to sip the tea.
Why is it spicy?
Today, there are two contrasting images of the Warrens. In one portrayal, popularized by the Conjuring movies, they were depicted as a lovable, wise, brave couple anyone would admire. However, skeptics view them differently, seeing them as manipulative opportunists and fake psychics, exploiting vulnerable families for fame and fortune. The Netflix documentary, The Devil on Trial, explores this perspective, suggesting the Warrens were not as virtuous as portrayed. Moreover, allegations surfaced after Ed's death in 2006, accusing him of engaging in sexual relationship with an underage girl, and apparently
Wow.
Lorraine knew. So, who were the Warrens, and how did their reputation become...
I did not know she was underage. So that is something I was unaware of. Yikes, that makes me just lose, my respect for Ed Warren just dropped to like a 10%, if that. I was literally at like an 80, 70. I'm actually disgusted. I don't know, that is probably gonna drop to a 0. Holy shit, I did not see that coming. Ugh, and Lorraine knew about it. Oh my gosh, this is like... Okay, that's something, I knew that he was seeing another woman. I didn't know she was underage.
so controversial? Well, here we go. Ed and Lorraine hailed from Bridgeport, Connecticut, both raised in the folds of the Catholic faith. Their paths intertwined in 1944 during their teenage years. By then, Lorraine had already embraced her purported abilities as a psychic medium, while Ed's fascination with the supernatural had deepened after growing up in a house that he believed to be haunted. After serving in World War II, Ed pursued art studies in college. However, his passion veered towards the paranormal, leading him to channel his artistic talents into exploring the unknown alongside Lorraine. Together, they went on ventures to allegedly haunted houses. Ed would sketch portraits of these dwellings, presenting them as gifts to the homeowners to gain entry. Once inside, Lorraine would often attempt to communicate with the spirits. Their reputation as demonologists and ghost hunters gradually flourished from these endeavors. In 1952, the couple founded the New England Society for Psychic Research. Currently, the New England Skeptical Society emerged in 1996, offering contrasting viewpoints and becoming one of the Warrens' most vocal critics. The emphasis on research lent credibility to the Warrens during a time when the interest of the occult surged. As their son-in-law, Tony Serpa, notes on the website, the Warrens became a beacon to those seeking assistance when no one else would lend an ear. Over their extensive career, the Warrens reportedly investigated over 10,000 cases of paranormal activity. Among these, several cases propelled them into the limelight, partly due to their adeptness at leveraging their involvement of their book deals and the publicity. For example, while the Warrens were among many paranormal enthusiasts who investigated the Amityville tragedy, they were among the most well-known, and their involvement is frequently mentioned in the prevalent pulp culture narratives surrounding it. In case you didn't know, the horror unfolded in Amityville, Long Island, just before Thanksgiving in 1974. The residence at 112 Ocean Avenue belonged to the DeFeo family. Ronald, the eldest son at 23, confessed to the gruesome murder of his parents and 4 younger siblings. During his trial in 1975, DeFeo claimed insanity, stating that he acted under the influence of voices in his head. DeFeo was eventually convicted under 6 counts of second-degree murder and received 6 life sentences in November 1975. He passed away in prison in March 2021 at 69 years old. The house lay vacant until December 19...
Not a lot of people knew about that, by the way, that he had passed away. I was rather shocked myself when I just looked up his name one day and, yeah, found out he passed away. It was actually around 2021 when I did it, too. I just, for some reason, decided I'm just going to look up this guy because I was doing some, like, Amityville. I was into, like, to the Amityville horror and stuff, and I wanted to do some research, and I was watching a documentary, and I'm like, I'm going to go ahead and look this guy up, and, yeah, he passed away, and I was like, holy crap, he passed away not long ago. But, yeah, 2021 is when he died, and it's so cool to see Celina talking about how wrong it is for a lot of these people, a lot of these con artists, really, to take advantage of people. It's heartbreaking, absolutely heartbreaking. And just because you have fun watching the content and you have fun watching the Conjuring movies, that doesn't necessarily mean we should just forget and just let go of the reality of it too. The reality is, Ed and Lorraine Warren just simply were not the people we were led on to believe. I watched the Conjuring movies. One of my favorite films of all time is the first Conjuring. Ed and Lorraine Warren, my respect for them died a lot. unfortunately, after beginning to dive more into the real stuff. Again, that was probably the most shocking thing so far of this video, is that I just did not know Ed was actually seeing an underage girl. That really disgusts me. It actually shocks me a lot, actually.
In 1975, when George and Kathy Lutz purchased it and moved in with their children.
The Lutz
Despite
family.
having the home blessed by a priest, they seemingly encountered torment at the outset. George recounted to ABC News in 2002 how doors slammed. Unseen forces immobilized him in bed while his children's beds seemingly bounced uncontrollably, and his wife underwent a startling transformation and levitation. Just 4 weeks into their stay, the Lutz family fled, leaving behind their possessions. 5 months later, Ed and Lorraine Warren arrived to investigate. Ed was allegedly physically pushed, while Lorraine experienced haunting visions. The Warrens claimed to have captured a photo of a demon child in the basement, concluding demonic forces were at play. The Lutz family sold the house and relocated to California. The property changed hands several times, and no further reports of paranormal activity happened, according to the New York Post. The case would go on to inspire numerous movies based on the Warrens' investigation. However, the most real incident out of all of this was Ronald DeFeo Jr.'s murder of his 2 parents, 2 brothers, and 2 sisters. In truth, all the demonic manifestations that the Lutz family came to experience were possibly not real. Dr. Stephen Kaplan recounted the true narrative in his extensively documented book, The Amityville Conspiracy. As a parapsychologist, he had been invited by the Lutz family to investigate the events early on. However, when he stated that if he discovered a fraud, he would reveal it, the Lutz family fired him and promptly replaced him with, you guessed it, Ed and Lorraine Warren. Steve Kaplan was vindicated when William Weber...
Yep. And that's also probably one of the reasons why, if any... Okay, I'm going to tell you something right now. I'm going to compare, okay, Ed and Lorraine Warren situation with our most recent fake paranormal channels. One of the reasons why they will never collaborate with a debunker, especially if they are aware they are putting on a show for their audience and they're lying to their audience, the reason why they are not going to bring a debunker on, or somebody who is a skeptic, or somebody who would point out fakery, is because of just that. They do not want to be called out as fake and then have somebody who now has actual evidence and proof showing that they are fake. People always say, why don't you go on an investigation with them and they can show you why they're not faking? Well, there's your answer. They don't want to. And the reason why they don't want to is because they simply do not want someone like that coming in and proving to everybody they were exactly right. They would lose their fame. They would lose what they worked so hard on. That's why they don't want to do it. It's obvious, guys. Stop blaming the debunkers for continuously making videos about certain content creators. Blame the content creators for not getting with these debunkers and proving that they're really not fake. If you're not faking, you have nothing to worry about. But if you are faking, you're probably going to stay clear away from all these debunkers as much as you possibly can. Now it makes sense why some of them don't want to give acknowledgement, because they know if they start giving acknowledgement to the people who are tired of all the BS in the paranormal community, then they're going to be called out for BS. I'm not saying all of the channels are fake that don't want to, collaborate with a debunker, but it does not help you. Turning your audience against them isn't the way to go about it. It makes you look more guilty, in my opinion.
The DeFeo's lawyer revealed later...
As somebody who is not biased to either side, it makes you look more guilty. And I'm just being honest about that.
Later in the sworn testimony that he and the Lutzes made up the narrative about the demonic home over several bottles of wine. But surely the Lutz family did have some independent evidence or eyewitness accounts of the poltergeist events? Well, no. Nobody else saw them. George and Kathleen Lutz were the only ones who witnessed all of the demonic activity. According to the police records, the Lutz family did not even call for aid during the 3 or 4 weeks of alleged hauntings.
Well, I will say that she kind of got wrong on one thing. Actually, their son, or Kathy's son, had said that he saw a demonic pig entity. Now, I'm not sure how much I believe in him to begin with, but this is apparently said he did experience some actual paranormal activity. So they're not the only ones who experience this stuff and have talked about it. I think it's called My Amityville Horror. It's like a documentary that is about the son of Kathy Lutz and the stepson of George Lutz. Yeah, and his experiences with everything going on. I can't remember his name off the top of my head, but it's a pretty interesting documentary. But yeah, they were not the only ones who experienced the paranormal activity of that entire family.
Though the movies and novels do state that the cops were called in. Theatrical, you know? In reality, every alleged demonic apparition that led the Lutz family to evacuate the residence was debunked. The supposed havoc wreaked upon the house, including doors and windows were allegedly torn off their hinges or smashed. They showed no signs of damage upon inspection. Even the purported demonic footprints in the snow that materialized during a period when the weather records that there was no snowfall at all. Similarly, the small third-floor windows, said to have been cracked in the shape of a quarter moon, displayed no evidence of cracks or repairs. The infamous Red Room, believed to be a sinister dungeon, turned out to be nothing more than a plumbing access space. These discrepancies continued throughout the Lutz family claims. Eventually, the Lutz family even admitted that the entire haunting story was a fabrication. This was an admission that emerged during a series of messy legal battles. In one trial, their former lawyer, Weber, sued them for allegedly excluding him from a lucrative book deal, seeking a staggering $2 million in damages.
That's what it's all about, people.
Another trial ensued when the subsequent homeowners sued.
That's all they care about, is the money behind it. It's not whether or not they truly believe in the paranormal or not. It's the fact that they know people believe in the paranormal and have had their own personal experiences. CelinaSpookyBoo is somebody who believes in the paranormal, but they don't care about that. They don't care about the real side of the paranormal. All they care about is luring you in, lying to your faces, and then getting the profits off of it. That's all they care about. And whether you want to accept that reality or not is completely up to you, but even if you don't accept that reality, it is the reality. It just is. As somebody who used to buy everything that he used to see back when I was younger, I now feel more refreshed. I feel like I still believe in the paranormal, but I'm very picky about what I do. It's like choosing your foods, right? Sometimes you're picky about what you eat. I'm picky about who I watch. I'm picky about who I put my faith and trust into. That's just how I am today. And I think it's benefited myself a lot more than where I used to be. And when the real stuff happens, I'm going to be all for it. But until then, I'm just going to be hopefully enjoying some of the ride, but I'm not going to be taking it seriously.
The Lutzes, author Jay Anson, and the book publishers for fraudulent claims of hauntings. They argued that these claims led to the invasion of their privacy, as curious visitors frequently trespassed on their property at all hours. Ronald DeFeo Jr., the murderer whose actions sparked the initial fascination of the house, denounced the entire saga from prison as a money-driven hoax. He emphasized that the only real aspect was the tragic murders, rejecting the notion of ghosts or demons. Furthermore, individuals falsely credited as witnesses to the alleged demonic events also threatened legal action against the Lutzes and Anson. Consequently, these individuals were discreetly removed from later editions of the book. Subsequent owners like Barbara and James Comtree reported to no supernatural encounters in the house. Their only issued statements from nosy tourists and bystanders was to deter unwanted attention.
Bystanders!
Bystanders!
That's a Celinism.
Later, the owners even renumbered the house and altered its distinctive features. I'm thinking of those big windows, right? The supposed Amityville haunting has been frequently disproved and universally regarded as a hoax by almost everyone who witnessed the episode, with the exception of the Warrens, who insisted for years that Amityville was the most haunted area they'd ever seen. They benefited greatly from their dedication to the topic. They worked as story advisors on the 1982's Amityville Horror 2, a prequel about the DeFeo murders.
We should watch all those.
We should. And, of course, The Conjuring 2, which mentions the Amityville investigation. Who doesn't know about the Amityville Horror House? Nobody. What a money horse.
Big time, buddy.
Big time, buddy! Most significantly, Amityville's notoriety increased their visibility and established them as go-to authorities for all things paranormal. Even I've spoken to Lorraine. Several additional reported hauntings and exorcisms would go on to become inextensively linked to the Warrens. The 1991 made-for-TV film, The Haunted, we need to watch that, in which they play characters, is based on the account of the Smurl family, purported paranormal case, their best-selling 1992 book, A Dark Place, co-written with novelist Ray Garton, details their study into a supposed event that inspired the 2009 film, The Haunting in Connecticut. That's a good one. On that occasion, the Snedneckers claimed to be seeing spirits of those whose remains had previously passed through the mortuary turned to home. Eventually, this led to demonic possession. However, according to a highly cynical interview, Garden alleged that he gave the Horror-Bound magazine, which was later republished on the Paranormal Studies and Inquiry Canada website, the Warrens not only knew the whole thing was a hoax, but also told Garden to invent whatever details he wanted to sell the story. As I gathered all the necessary information for the book, I found that accounts of the individual Snedneckers didn't quite mesh. They just couldn't keep their stories straight. I went to Ed with this problem. "Oh, they're just crazy," he said. "Everybody who comes to us is crazy. Otherwise, why would they come to us? You've got some of the same story.
Great.
Just use what works and make the rest up. And make it scary.
Yeah,
You write
there it
scary
is.
books, right? That's why we hired you. So just make it up and make it scary." Garden also implies that in that interview that the Warrens changed their expertise from ghosts to demons only because of the popularity of The Exorcist. Back when I was
And I'm going to say Twin Paranormal really quick. This is why I'm not a fan of Twin Paranormal always consistently using the term demon or the night we almost died. It sounds too much like you're trying too hard to bring in views. Like you're trying really hard, and it's not needed. People who have a passion for the paranormal are going to watch anyways, but for some reason, and Ed and Lorraine Warren were aware of how popular demonic was. And right, The Exorcist, I mean, when you think demonic, you think of like crazy shit's going to go down. When it's a paranormal location, normally some things happen here and there, but when it's demonic, things go crazy. Stuff gets thrown. People get scratched. I mean, it's just one of those things, right? That you know exactly what you're doing and why you title your videos Demon, 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 Zozo, Zozo, Zozo. It's just, I said it 3 times. I hope he actually does not come out and try to kill me. But, you know, it does make you question everything that the Warrens said were real. It does. When you hear stuff like this, it makes you question every detail. Is Annabelle even a haunted doll? I don't know. As a matter of fact, I'm leaning more towards probably not. We'll know if something bad happens to me, maybe then. But like there is no truly. I have no personal reasons to believe that Annabelle is really haunted because the movies came out and introduced me to Annabelle. That's not enough to just say that it's haunted. It was made by Hollywood, and Hollywood's all about money.
Reading about the Warrens, they were ghost hunters. Every house they investigated had at least one ghost, and there was always a spooky story behind it. But after The Exorcist was so wildly popular as the novel, then the book, Ed and Lorraine stopped encountering ghosts and started to uncover demon infestations. Makes you wonder, doesn't it?
A little bit.
There is the famed The Devil Made Me Do It trial, which was the subject of the new Netflix documentary and the premise for the third Conjuring film, officially titled The Conjuring, The Devil Made Me Do It, in which the Warrens allegedly assisted in the exorcism of a young child called David in 1980. During the event, which took place during the early years of Satanic Panic, a participant named Arnie Glunton, the boy's elder sister's lover, supposedly challenged the demon to enter him, causing him to become possessed and then shoot and kill his landlord. Alan Bono, during the subsequent murder trial, the defense attempted to assert demonic possession. However, the court denied the defense, and Johnson was later found guilty of first-degree manslaughter. The Warrens left all that behind with another bestseller, the 1983 The Devil in Connecticut. This is all intriguing, to be sure, but the Glatzel family has since been bitterly divided over the events about David, who was 11 at the time, claims if he was truly possessed, and his elder sister Mary Johnson, and lived with him until her death in 2021. Meanwhile, his older brother Carl has long maintained that his family staged and exaggerated the occurrences, while the Warrens enticed and encouraged them in the desire of their own fame and fortune. Yup. In 2007, he sued the Warrens, saying the book was based on complete lies, and that the Warrens concocted a phony story about demons in an attempt to get rich and famous at our expense. The action, which was eventually rejected, alleged that the Warrens portrayed Carl's real-life skepticism as an enmity caused by his own demonic possession, a characterization that stuck with him ever since. In the new Netflix documentary, he even accuses them of driving his family apart. And on it goes. Every major incident in which the Warrens have been involved over the years was completely disproved. presuming supporting evidence was ever presented in the first place. In other situations, the Warrens claimed to have video or photographic proof that literally never happened. In one 1990 encounter, Ed Warren described a film I took of a female spirit who allegedly was wandering a gravesite. The film was never released, and the spirit was apparently created by a woman named Judith Penny, who was wearing a white bedsheet over her head. The counter-argument to all the skepticism essentially goes like this. The Warrens did profit from the books and the public appearances, yes, but they never charged for investigating cases. They gave some of the profits from their books to families impacted by the cases, and they didn't make that much money. They seem to believe in what they're doing, and if they did exaggerate, Plus, even the skeptics who investigated them commented on how nice they both were. Surely, they're nice people and they couldn't be scammers, right?
No.
Yet, underlying all of this debate and undermining all of the Warren supporters is a much darker cynicism surrounding who the Warrens were.
Get it! I'm enthusiastic now. She is going after them. She is like, but that doesn't mean they can't be scammers, right? No, they can be. It's like, yeah, even if they're nice to your face, even if they tell you they really appreciate you, everything you do for me, I appreciate. Free of charge, don't worry about it. The promise of wealth and fortune. So much shit. She's really, I'm surprised. I'm gonna say I'm very proud of CelinaSpookyBoo for doing this. I am. I really dig it. I really do.
Clearly the difference between their public and private faces. Judith Penny, who is sometimes described as Ed's assistant or his liaison, was alleged that beginning in the early 1960s, Ed Warren, who then in his 30s, was grooming her. In 1963, when she was 15, Penny claimed that Warren moved her into the Warrens' house in Bridgeport and then commenced a full-blown sexual affair with Lorraine's full consent. That lasted a few years before Ed's death in 2006. Penny's alleged relationship with Warren came to light in 2017 via The Hollywood Reporter, which was critical of both the Warrens and the Conjuring franchise for continuing to valorize the Warrens and the allegations of Ed Warren's predatory behavior that first came to light in 2014. Both Warner Bros. And the Warren family have painted Penny as a vulnerable elderly woman being manipulated by bad actors into fabricating claims as a part of lawsuits filed by various greedy parties against the Conjuring franchise. Lorraine never commented on the allegations, and she passed away in 2019. However, there seems to be some proof. Penny was reportedly arrested for delinquency because she moved in with Warren, and her presence in the house gets a nod in the 1980 book about the Warrens, The Demonologist. That is one of my favorite books. In alleged grooming allegations sit to the core of the conflict surrounding the portrayal of the Warrens in both written accounts and pop culture. On one hand, the immensely successful Conjuring franchise, worth billions, thrives on an audience's affection for the Warrens as its characters. However, this affection is rooted in belief of their real-life purity and sincerity, a belief that becomes increasingly challenging to maintain as more details surface about their lives.
Yeah.
Take, for example, Lorraine Warren's depiction as a devout, virtuous Catholic in the movies, often depicted as bravely confronting demonic forces. In reality, according to Penny's allegations, Lorraine was not only aware but also complicit in Ed's abuse. Penny further claimed that Lorraine pressured her into undergoing an abortion. Additionally, Penny alleged that Ed was both physically and verbally abusive to Lorraine throughout their marriage. Feminist author Jude Doyle condemned the portrayal of the Warrens as heroes, asserting that any glorification of them is reprehensible in the light of these allegations. In essence, the public's admiration for the fictional Warrens drives curiosity and scrutiny of the Warrens. Paradoxically, this increased the awareness, which makes it harder to sustain interest in the fictional portrayals.
Yeah, no
Nevertheless,
shit.
Warner Bros. Continues to capitalize on the Warrens' legacy and the Conjuring franchise, but with some adjustments. And hey guys, those are some of my favorite movies ever. While spin-offs like The Nun and Annabelle have shifted focus away from the Warrens, they still serve as spiritual guides within the cinematic universe. As Bethy Squirrels noted in the franchise balancing act between religious undertones and commercialism makes it a captivating subject for analysis. The Warren legacy, primarily upheld in their son-in-law Spira, extends beyond the mere religious beliefs. On his website, Spira captures the essence of the Warrens' appeal, highlighting their message in a world that often dismisses the supernatural. The fairy tale is true, the devil exists, God exists. But what stands out here isn't just the mention of devil or god, it's the reference to the fairy tale. Spira recognizes that the Warren story isn't just about ghosts or demons. It's about the romanticized narrative of Ed and Lorraine as devout truth seekers. This fairy tale isn't just about dispelling mental illnesses with holy water and Latin chants. It's about finding purpose alongside your spiritual partner in a world full of skepticism. This narrative, however, is a part of the illusions that the Warrens expertly sold. While their actions may have stemmed from deeply ingrained religious fervor, they had unintended consequences. As revealed in Judith Penny's claims and the documentary Devil on Trial, real people suffered from the aftermath of the Warrens' exploits. Carl, for instance, was portrayed as a demon-possessed villain in the warrant of the incident, simply because he insisted it was a hoax. Now, as pop culture perpetuates the myth of the Warrens, separating truth from fiction becomes really, honestly, increasingly challenging.
Yeah, it does.
Because we know things go bump in the night. We've seen it, we've heard it, I have. But that doesn't mean that in moments when things happen, my brain doesn't try to figure out if they're real or not. I believe a lot of what they saw, heard, and did was real. But I do believe a lot of it wasn't too. I'm so 50-50, man.
Hey, there was something real going on there.
Selena, I'm not sure if you're ever going to see this video. I want to say to you right now, you have done more, I think, for the paranormal community in this one video than you'll ever be aware of. For you to acknowledge what I think I have been saying for a long time now, not everything is paranormal. Just because you hear bumps in the night, that doesn't automatically mean it is a ghost. There could be wildlife out there. You just said yourself, your mind will automatically go to that place. And it's okay, it's understandable. You're in a haunted, supposed haunted location. Your mind might go to that place immediately. You might get overwhelmed. You might get paranoid. It happens. It always will happen. I've experienced paranormal activity myself. I personally believe that the paranormal is real, 100%. This is one of my, I'm so fucking happy for you right now because so many people in the debunking side of the community have been getting hate for even saying what you just said. They've been getting so much hate. And as somebody who has been a part of the ghost hunting, the paranormal investigation side of things for a long time, started moving slowly towards the debunking side. And now, I mean, I've always been a part of the debunking community too. But now I'm more open about it. And I'm trying to get my opinions out there more about certain things that may not make any sense in videos and might be I can explain. And you just helped everybody out, I think. I think you just nailed it. You nailed it. I'm hoping a lot of people take a lot away from this video. Even people who cannot stand the debunking community, I hope you look at this video and at least see what she is saying and take this into consideration. Unfortunately, a lot of it can be said about people in the paranormal YouTube community today. Unfortunately, this is a reality. And whether you want to accept this as a reality or not, it is real. There are people who do fake shit for views, attention, money, publicity. So many. One of them we had stopped in their tracks because of the debunking community. Stopped them in their tracks. I don't have to say who they are. You already know. And thankfully, the majority of people believed in what the debunking community was doing. Unfortunately, now the debunking community has kind of tried to explain more things about other channels, and now the hatred is starting to really pour on into the debunking community, which is sad. But CelinaSpookyBoo, I think, just kind of helped out a lot.
But they're actors too. Like, they amp up. You put on a show,
It's a
but
show!
it's still real.
Here's the thing. I respect Ed and Lorraine Warren. I think what they did was sick. Look what they've created from it. The thing is, ghosts are real, demons are real. Maybe a lot of the stuff they didn't. I feel like this kind of falsely really shits on them a lot. I think that there's a lot of spooky stuff out there.
You've got to watch too. Like, it can go to people's head, right?
Ooh.
So they could have been doing real things in the beginning that weren't so insane, but then maybe they did start making stuff up in the end.
So guys, in saying that, don't whistle in the woods at night. Don't cause yourself problems, and stay spooky. Hope you enjoyed the tea.
I will say that I'm not sure if I have as much respect for Ed and Lorraine as you do. Obviously, yes, they were putting on a show, but at the same time, they also took advantage of people. And people who could have been suffering from actual psychological stuff going on, and they took complete advantage of it. Or maybe even made people worse because they jumped on in and tried to make it sound like their house was haunted. So everything that went bump in the night, they automatically assumed was haunted, and they need to get Ed and Lorraine down here right away. Something crazy's going on. and then they fed into it. There's a lot there that I would even say after watching this video, my respect for them has gone down tremendously because of I just watched this video. I'm actually surprised that you said you still have respect for them. I don't think I do anymore. I don't think I do. Yeah, they happen. Yeah, they are part of the paranormal field no matter where you want to put them. But the allegations, there's just so much allegations. And like you said yourself, more keeps coming out. That makes it harder and harder to really want to defend them. I do agree on certain things. I disagree on some things. But overall, I think the message of the video was pretty clear. And I will go ahead and use this example as a message for everybody. Don't believe everything you see. No matter how convincing it might be, we live in a time where technology is at an all-time high. And it's just going to get better and better. So that doesn't mean everything is paranormal. As much as you want to personally believe it, even if you go leave this video saying that I'm going to believe it no matter what anyways, this guy's just a jackass. Okay, even if you do, and that's respectable, I understand. Just know deep down before it really does tear you up one day and hurt you really bad that not all of it's real. Go in with a grain of salt for every investigation that you watch. Trust me, I think it's going to benefit. But having said that, guys, it was a really well done video. Guys, let me know what you think down below. And until next time, I'll catch you in the next one. Do take care.
JCARTS has your life. JCARTS has your life. CelinaSpookyBoo is throwing down, coming after me. If you caught a chance, JCARTSARTS is through. You won't be mad.